In this video, we're going to use the intersecting chords and secant formula to solve a couple of problems. So first of all, the example in front of us, we are being asked to calculate length B, which I'm just going to highlight here in red. So that's the length of this line there, and we are given the following. We're given AX as being 12, so that's this length here as being 12 centimeters. We are also given the length of CX, which is 3. So I'm going to draw that in as well. And we're given the length DX. So these might be given to you already on the diagram, or they might be given explicitly, like what you see here. The formula for our intersecting chords is AX times BX equals CX times DX. Now, I've put the letters in the right place here, but it's important to note that this might not always be the case. So our A and our B are both matching on the same chord. That whole line there, they are part of the same chord, therefore they go together. Same with C and D, that makes a single chord, and X is the point of intersection. Just be careful, the letters that are given in the question might not perfectly match what you have here. So our length of AX, just putting all of this in, our length of AX is 12. Our BX is unknown, so we can give it a variable. So I didn't actually label that. Let's call it Y, seeing as X is already there. So we've got 12 times Y equals CX, which was 3 times DX, which is 8. So that ends up giving us 12Y equals 24. And then we solve that equation to get Y equals 2 centimeters. Now, generally speaking, these diagrams will always have a note saying not drawn to scale. But it should look kind of right. So 2 as a value for this kind of makes sense when you look at the 3 that's beside it. Second example, this time instead of having chords, we have something called secants, which is effectively a chord extended outside a circle until a point where they meet like so. Now, the values that have been given here are already on the diagram, but the letters E, F, G, H, I do not link directly to our formula. So first things we're going to do is quote our formula. AX times BX equals CX times DX. And I strongly recommend you rename or relabel all of the points that are given. So X has to be our point of intersection. So instead of G, I'm going to call that X now. AB is a chord. Doesn't matter which chord you pick. I'm going to pick this one here. So those 2 points now I'm going to refer to as A and B. And then C and D, the other chord, I'm going to mark these 2 points here and call them C and D. Now, because of the fact that this question is looking for a value of X here, we technically don't need that E, F, G, H, I part, so what I'm doing here is totally fine. And it will make it easier for figuring out what it is that we're going to substitute into this formula there. So, AX, that's the distance from A all the way to X, highlighted there in green. So that has 2 parts to it. There's X, which is the distance between A and B, and then there's 7, which is the distance between B and X. So together, that's going to be X plus 7 for the length of that green line. Next, yellow, BX is just this part here, so that's a 7. Multiply by 7. Maybe should have picked a better color than that. After that, we have CX, which again is the length of this whole secant here. So that's going to be 6 plus 8 for 14. And lastly, we have DX, which is that length there, which is 8. So actually, let me just put that 7 in a darker color. Okay, so I've substituted everything in correctly, and then we solve the equation that we have left over. So breaking out that brackets is going to give me 7x plus 49. On the other side, we're going to end up with 112. I then take away 49 from both sides, and I'm going to get 63. And then we divide both sides by 7, and we get x equals 9. Nope, I almost wrote centimeters. It's meters in this question. Again, even though you've got this diagram not drawn to scale, your answer shouldn't look too crazy. So the fact that this is a 9, it's not something like a 32 or a 0 point something, it should look right. Done.